I can't say I thought this day would come, but today we're reviewing the Vapor Edge Kobe 6 Grinch Cleat. And make sure you guys stick around for later in the video as well to see the comparisons and differences between the Protro Retro from 2020. Oh yeah, and if you didn't know by now, my name is DJ, and this is the DNA Show. Now before I get to breaking down all the details of this cleat, you know we gotta go over the history first. Throughout the years, the Kobe Bryant line with Nike released over 10 different models of the Kobe basketball sneaker. But when it comes to performance, look, and overall fit, a lot of people say that the Kobe 6 is one of the greatest basketball sneakers of all time. Not only for his models, but literally of all time. I'll let you guys settle that debate down below in the comment section, but I say that to say definitely a very iconic model. And I'm sure just from seeing some of those images pop up on the screen right there, I'm taking you guys down memory lane. So back in 2010, we saw the original Kobe 6 Grinch colorway in particular released to the public alongside with the yellow KD 3s and the red LeBron 8s. And most of you know this was the new resurgence of Nike basketball and its impact on the sneaker culture on and off the basketball court. Everybody saw Kobe wearing the Grinches on Christmas, and from that point on, it just became a bigger and better and stronger and more desired sneaker over the years. So 10 years later in 2020, we then saw the retro of the Grinch Kobe 6 and the now Protro version, which I've also done a full review and breakdown of those. So make sure you guys go check that out after this video if you'd like. And with that being said, this sneaker has been very hard to get. A lot of hoopers want it, a lot of everyday collectors want it, you name it. There's a lot of different reasons why a lot of people want the shoe. And because of it, the price continues to go up. And just when we thought this was the end of the Grinch era and all the things that come with it, next thing you know, Nike decided to give us a cleat. I think this was heavily inspired by seeing a lot of different players wearing different cleats designed to look exactly like basketball shoes, whether if it's a paint job or actually adding the materials to the cleat. We have seen it integrated on the field more and more and more every single season. We've seen foam posits, we've seen the diamond turfs come back to life. Even LeBron has some LeBron 4s turned into cleats. So when I saw this project coming to life, I knew for a fact this was going to be a no-brainer. Everybody was gonna want these, even the people that don't even play football anymore. So that kind of gives you guys a little bit more history about how we got to this point and why we even have a cleat in the first place. So let's take it to the studio so I can give you guys all the details and differences between these two, because I know they look similar, but there are a lot of differences as well. All right, starting with the box, like I said before, this is gonna be similar to your Grinch Kobe 6 Protro box and a lot of Kobe's that we've seen released recently when it comes to the Kobe 6s. So you got that all over scales throughout there. It's gonna have a little bit of texture on there and that matte black finish. Then you're gonna have that satin finish with the Kobe logo and signature just below that. Nothing else on the sides or the back besides the satin swoosh right here on the back end and then the front end on the lid. And then the size tag reads Vapor Edge Kobe 6 Green Apple Black Volt Crimson size 11. Not for me, but either way, shout out to my homies over there at Hearth for hooking me up with this pair so I can give you guys a review. I gotta take them back because obviously they're not my size, but I still do want to grab these cleats for the collection simply because you guys know I played football in college. And then also, I still got like the Yeezy Turtle Dove cleats. Y'all remember when those came out? For me, on the collector side with the reverse Grinches and different things like that, I just want to have the cleats in my collection, so don't be surprised if you see those added to the collection at some point. So when you open the lid right here, you can see you got your all over white paper, but one thing that I noticed was they added these little foam pads right here on the inside of the box, these little squares. I don't know if it's to help like keep the shoe from rattling or protect the back end because there's like a little plastic piece on the cleat, but either way, you got the shoe. Oh, you got the shoe. Well, actually, this is a cleat. So what I'm gonna do is run through some quick details of the cleat, but mainly I wanna compare these against the Protro so you guys can see all the differences. But for the most part, let's run through a quick breakdown. So the outsole right here, you got your Vapor Cleat bottom separated right here with two plastic pieces. And then you see this little brand that says CC6 with the little Nike swoosh below that. And on the side, you got that black Nike swoosh right here on that lime green area. Now when it comes to the rest of the cleat right here, you can see looks like the Kobe Grinches. But one thing that I noticed about the inside of the shoe, when you take out this insole, is really dope. As you can see, it has these ribs and this texture on it. This actually aligns with the plate on the inside. That actually sits in the grooves so the insole doesn't slide when you're running routes, breaking down, making cuts, different things like that. So looking at these two side by side, the first thing that I noticed was the color of the green, the gradient, and all those different elements to just the colors and the shades of the shoe. The front end of the toe right here, it's a lot more light on the basketball shoe compared to how dark it is right here around the front end and the side panel wrapping up right here. A lot more of a dark element to it just on that bottom half as well, wrapping around. And I showed you guys the 3 different samples that I have of this version before it came to life, and you saw there was different shades and gradients as well with the greens. So that's kind of why I pointed it out, because they have gone through multiple trials before they got that final print that they decided to work with. So starting with the bottoms, big difference. Now this one in particular, you see you got that carbon fiber plate, you've got that Kobe logo right here, that green speckle right there, and that green apple, and then that more translucent look. And then also you're gonna have some text right here on the toe of the shoe. But if you look at the cleat, there's no Kobe logo. They actually put a Nike logo, but they still stayed similar with it with the red branding on there. And then on the front end, there's no branding around the toe, not even on there. But you do have a Nike swoosh right here in black on the lime green like we pointed out earlier. Now when it comes to the back end of these two, completely different. As you can see, you have that translucent piece right here that sticks out, kind of diamond shaped right there around the cleat. And then you have nothing like that sticks out around here. Now typically when you're playing football, you might get stepped on the back of your foot. This is gonna allow the cleat to slip off and help you probably be more dynamic and all those other aspects. And then this one is gonna be more rounded. You're still gonna have that plastic feel, and then also your Kobe logo is actually still in that back end of the heel. Could they have potentially done that? Maybe yes, I don't know. Maybe just because of the color of it and how translucent it is, maybe it was kind of hard to see, so they decided to place the logo here. But if you look, they still kept that branding, but they just moved it to the side end right here on the heel counter area. Now when it comes to this green patent leather that you see around this area, this one kind of mimics how you see that plastic going right here. It has that same shape and character to it, but at the same time, it's actually not that plastic. It's just that same patent leather that's wrapping around and not something overlapping over that material. Now, when it comes to the swooshes, it's gonna be another thing that I noticed as well. The Protro pair has more of a metallic kind of flake to it in the black on the swoosh. And then on the cleat, it's just like jet black, no metallic finish to it. It's got that glossy finish to it, but not that metallic. But overall, when it comes to the size of the swooshes, you can tell pretty similar on that aspect. But again, the placement and how they went about the swoosh print on the shoe is different. You see on the basketball foot, it goes all the way up to the back end right here and connects, and you can't even technically see like the tip of the swoosh on the end. But if you look at these ones, it's actually not all the way to the back end of the cleat, and it's kind of just a little bit of gap in between, and then you can see the end of the swoosh here. Speaking of details, I forgot to mention this earlier. If you look at the toe, remember we were talking about that dark green color? There's this like lining that goes all around just above the midsole right here, and it goes all around the toe and into the inside of the foot here. Well, if you look at the cleat, it starts right here and it goes around, but then it stops and kind of dips down and it comes around the toe right here, and then it still goes around to the inside there. So they kept that similar like integrity of how they created this one. I would say it's a lot darker green here on the cleat than it is compared to the basketball shoe. Now when it comes to the laces, these laces look like they're just a little bit different. They do look the same, but at the same time, for some reason, they look like they're just a little bit thicker. They might be a little bit more durable because of the cleats. Maybe I'm just making that up. I don't know. You guys can tell me if you have both shoes. But besides that, on the tongue right here, you're gonna see you got that lime green mesh with the white behind that. And then you're gonna have that Kobe branding right here with the logo on the top end, and that's going to be all in red, similar to the tongue here. But one thing I can say is on the basketball shoe, the tongue does go a little bit higher compared to on the football cleat. And then on the inside, the way that the mesh is set up and connected to the back end around the heel, that's all going to be very similar to the actual configuration of how the shoe was built. Another thing that I noticed, which also very, very dope, they have the red laces and you got the red laces on the cleats. I love that aspect. Remember we talked about the bottom of the insoles and how that was set up? Well, if you actually look at the basketball, there's a big cup right here that dips in. You see how my finger kind of goes away and then it's like that? There's a huge cup on the back end around the heel. I like how they put the quote, you know, molds to my foot, everything like that. No cup, big cup. I'm sure you guys can see just off the shadows, but then also look at the colors of the two. I feel like the color, honestly, the greens are different too. If you look at these, you put them side by side, you can see it's a lot darker on the basketball one compared to the football one. And it's kind of weird because it's opposite. Like the foot on the outside of the shoe is darker on the cleat and lighter on the basketball shoe. And then on the sock liner, it's darker on the sock liner on the basketball shoe and lighter on the sock liner on the cleat. But besides that, obviously 24 on there, you got the black and then you got the red. So, and then the other foot says KB for Kobe Bryant. And then as you can see from the bottom of these two, completely different. So you're talking about high performance basketball, high performance football. Some of the top athletes in the world are wearing these basketball shoes and these football cleats right here. I wanted to make sure I gave you guys this review because I love football cleats. And if you guys want to see any other football cleats on the channel, please let me know, because I have a ton of PEs in my collection, different cleats that I wore over the years, you name it. I got a bunch of different reviews that I can give you guys. So I appreciate you as always. Let me know what you guys think down below in the comments. But oh, my bad, sorry. Poll results for the cleats. 84% of the people said fire, 16% of the people said trash. And I said, what would you rather have, the cleats or the basketball shoes? And they said 16%, that's crazy. The same exact poll results. 16% of the people chose the cleats and 84% of the people chose the basketball shoes. Let me know what you guys think down below in the comment section. If you want to participate in the polls, follow me on IG. I'll see you guys in another one.
I would never let you down, it's in my DNA. The only choice I like to make, what I'ma wear today. I would never let you down, it's in my DNA. The only choice I like to make, what I'ma wear today. I was made for it, it's in the DNA.